Hi, thank you. My name's Paige Kreisman. I'm Portland Democratic Socialists of America's endorsed candidate for the Oregon House in District 42. Thank you. I'm so excited to see such a big turnout here, from community members to Burgerville workers to other unions. This is incredible given the times we live in right now. This is a scary time to be a union member, to support unions. We have anti-union policies coming down at every level of our government, from Trump's federal administration to our Democrat-controlled supermajority state government that has turned their backs on the public working class.
Fuck them.
But when our backs are up against the wall, when no one else is going to fight for us, who's going to? We are.
Yeah.
And when we fight,
We win.
when we fight,
We win.
when we fight,
We win.
hell yeah we do. Write that down, Burgerville. So Burgerville, you need to know that when you don't pay your workers a living wage, that when you dehumanize and degrade your workers, that our community has the backs of these workers.
That's right. That's right.
That our community is going to fight with these workers.
Yeah.
Our community is going to come out to these pickets. We're going to boycott Burgerville, and we're not going to eat a single burger until these workers get paid a living wage. Boycott Burgerville!
Boycott Burgerville.
Boycott Burgerville!
Boycott Burgerville.
Boycott Burgerville!
Boycott Burgerville.
Hell yeah, thank you so much.
Brothers and sisters, I'm so happy to see all of you out here today. This here is love. This here is strength. This here is solidarity.
Yeah.
Solidarity with our friends, solidarity with our families and loved ones, solidarity with our community. I'm grateful to be here in solidarity with all of you. My name is Albert Lee. I'm the DSA endorsed candidate for Congress in the 3rd District of Oregon to the United States Congress.
All right.
I want to thank the Burgerville Workers Union for having me out here today, and I want to thank all of you for being here in support of the union. Boycott Burgerville.
Boycott Burgerville.
Now I want to tell you all a little story, if I may. May I?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So in 1990, at the age of 15, I took my first W-2 job. And can anybody guess or venture to guess what industry that was in?
That's it.
You got it, fast food. It was the summer between my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and I was trying to help supplement my family's income and help to get us the stuff we needed for school in the fall. I worked for Church's Fried Chicken in North County, St. Louis, next door to Ferguson. And I was only legally allowed to work at the cash register. But did I work at the cash register? No. Nope, not at all. You see, the vast majority of the workers were children like me, black and brown children. And all the managers were white, male adults. Now, I still remember that first day of work. I think you kind of remember those days that scar you. It was a Saturday, and I started work at 2 p.m. Manager sat me down, and he said flatly, all the managers are white, and all the workers aren't. Now, that's not going to be a problem, is it? Next, he said, technically, you're not supposed to do this, but we're going to train you on the fryers and cutting chicken. So I started off in the walk-in cooler that day, where we had some misshipped boxes of whole chickens. The manager gave me a pair of chainmail gloves and quickly demonstrated how to cut that chicken on an open rotary saw. Now, this is the great state of Missouri, so you know they didn't give a damn about child worker, let alone adults trying to feed their families. So I was left there with cases of chicken to cut in that cold walk-in cooler without a coat. I was so scared that I was going to cut a finger or worse. My hands, my fingers were numb from the ice-packed chicken. My back was sore from the 40-pound cases of chicken. My legs ached from steadying my body on those cold, wet floors. It was miserable. Now, after a couple of hours of cutting chicken alone in the cold, I got trained on my next task, and that was the deep fryer. At least it was warm and it was around other people. And again, my manager warned me, now technically you're not supposed to do this, but we're going to train you, and this is what you're going to do. Now, can you imagine the power dynamics? Grown-ass man versus a child? And of course, I didn't protest. Now, can you imagine a Burgerville worker trying to cover rent, feed a family, and the power dynamics between that worker and a manager? Can you? Thank goodness we have a Burgerville Workers Union. So that first day of frying chicken actually left scars on my hands, and they're kind of faded after 3 decades of time, but they remain. Those are my Church's Fried Chicken tattoos. My first day, I closed, and at the end of the shift, we counted 40 pieces of chicken that remained at the end of the night, marked it in the record, and left it on the rack. The next morning, the opening manager would recount that chicken before throwing it all away. I left my first shift at Church's Fried Chicken at 2 a.m., 12 hours after my first shift began. I gotta say, it's been a long time coming for a fast food union. Now, we can't just stop at Burgerville, though. We gotta unionize all fast food.
That's right.
Now, 30 years ago, when I was working at Church's Fried Chicken, that first W-2 job, you know what it paid me? $3.80 an hour. Yeah, now that meant I took about $45 home after tax, before taxes, for that 12-hour back-breaking, scarring for life shift. But let me bring this full circle to you. If you plug in $3.80 in 1990s dollars into a real money calculator and ask for the relative output or worth in 2018 dollars, not even 2019 dollars, 2018 dollars, that's $13.10 an hour. What I'm trying to say is that the minimum wage has not increased in 30 years. Burgerville wants to be proud of its dollar increase to $13.50 an hour. That's actually 40 cents less, or 40 cents more than I made 30 years ago in Missouri. Nobody can live on that. Nobody. The price of housing, food, price of everything's gone up by leaps and bounds. And the oppressors have kept their boots on the necks of workers, squeezing every ounce of profit from their bodies and calling for the next body. Burgerville wants your pity. Burgerville wants your pity and claims that they took a $3 million loan out for that dollar raise. I say boo-hoo. Don't subsidize your profits on the backs of those who actually produce those profits. Surely your management can take a $3 million cut, better yet, a $6 million cut.
Yeah!
Woo! Better yet, take it out of the excesses that you call profits. What Burgerville is simply saying is that it wants more profit and wants to shift the burden not only to its own workers, but to the rest of the community.
Yep.
When those workers can't make their ends meet, that burden gets shifted to the rest of us. Social services, charities, friends, neighbors, families, relatives, and that's not fair, is it?
Nope.
Now, I've been fortunate enough to have witnessed firsthand living wages for employees of McDonald's in Denmark. We're begging for $15 here. They've been making over $20 an hour over there. And Big Macs only cost about 80 cents more over there. Burgerville, figure it out. Simply put, we're making too much profit and shifting the burden on the rest of us. Denmark doesn't have the great wealth disparity we have here, and it's simply because they don't allow for excessive profiteering. They require living wages for all. They understand the value of healthy community of people without the obscene differences in living. So it is great to see you all here in solidarity, because if we leave it to the owners, they'll continue to put the squeeze on us without care or concern. We need a living wage now. And the only way we're going to get it is by organizing in solidarity and demanding it, taking it. We need to fix the imbalance of wealth here in this country. A CEO should not be able to make in 1 hour what an average worker makes in a year. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight,